For nearly a decade, Thailand has been trapped in a depressing cycle of violence. Two groups, widely known as the Red Shirts and the Yellow Shirts, are fighting each other for power. The Red Shirts love the former Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatra, a tycoon turned politician who improved life for the working class, while the Yellow Shirts, made up of royalists and the middle class, have had enough of Thaksin's crony capitalism and are fighting to rid Thailand of his influence.
This family. Okay, yeah. Why do you not like them? They not respect my king. That's it.
The political war between these two groups was instigated in 2006 when a Yellow Shirt uprising led to Thaksin being ousted in a military coup for abuse of power and corruption. Ever since, the Reds and Yellows have taken turns at instigating mass protests to topple their opponents. The love and hate for Thaksin has been passed down to his sister Yingluck, who is now the Prime Minister. And in November 2013, she triggered the latest wave of protests after she tried to clear her brother Thaksin of corruption charges so that he could return to Thailand. So far, the recent wave of protests has claimed 23 lives and injured hundreds more.
We're walking around a protest camp that's blocking part of the government complex. They've been here for more than 2 months, preventing government officials from going to work. And today there's a big roundtable discussion going on between the police and protest leaders because the protesters here have been given 72 hours to clear. So far, it doesn't look like they're about to move anytime soon.
Fears were growing that another military coup was looming, as Thailand has already had 18 coups in 81 years. Yingluck tried to defuse the uprising by dissolving the parliament and calling for new elections, but the Yellow Shirts, determined to overthrow her, began a shutdown of Bangkok on January 13th, bringing the capital to a standstill.
There were just negotiations here because they want you guys to leave. The police wants you to leave.
Yeah, but we will not.
You won't leave?
No, we will not leave because we don't want this present Prime Minister. She controlled by Thaksin. A lot of corruption and cheating. I want her to quit, to resign the Prime Minister position. And we will reform.
How do you think you will achieve this change, this reform?
I don't know, but we believe we're going to win anyway. Police will come and shoot me with the tear gas, with the plastic bullet, with the real bullet, but we never back away.
You don't care if they start shooting at you, you're going to stay?
Get out, get out, get out.
They've called their protest movement the PDRC, People's Democratic Reform Committee. So reform seemed to be a big deal. But I didn't quite understand what they meant by it. So we headed to the main protest site, blocking the city center, to speak to one of their spokespersons.
Did you expect this many people to join the protest movement?
Well, this movement started from just a small group of people, around 2,000-3,000 people at Samsen Station on the 31st of October. It has grown into a much larger movement, a sort of a nationwide uprising that consists of people from all segments of society. 1 second.
You're a superstar now.
It was something I didn't expect, but being a spokesperson, obviously, my image gets broadcasted every day. The source of the problem lies on Thaksin regime, and people have decided that they have had enough. So they choose to come out and demonstrate peacefully, as you can see here, to root out Thaksin regime and to solve the problem that exists in Thailand once and for all. And we think that the problem can only be solved through reform.
What does this reform consist of?
We want to restore democratic values back to this country. It's completely plagued of corrupted politicians using money to buy votes. We have problem of electoral fraud. It's a fact for these people here, for Thai people, that election is not fair. And we have the right to come out to fight against this cruel and corrupted regime. This is what we're saying.
Akhenaten was talking about how democratic and non-violent they were, but that day his fellow protesters had sabotaged the pre-election by blocking all 50 polling stations in Bangkok and many in the south of Thailand, jeopardizing the general elections the following Sunday. They angered many people who were denied their vote, and human rights organizations criticized them for being undemocratic.
We're in the middle of the protests, and it's not at all what I had expected. It's like a giant street party. You have vendors selling t-shirts, lots of food stalls, people taking selfies. This is probably the most absurd protest I have ever been to in my life. It's the end of the second week of the shutdown of Bangkok, and 5 days ago the government declared a state of emergency. But so far nothing seems to have changed.
While protesters were making huge profits on selling merch, Thailand's economy was on its knees. It was like a festival with food stalls and stages, only instead of bands they had speakers.
I ยืนยันย้ำอีกครั้งหนึ่งว่าเป้าหมายการต่อสู้ของมวลมหาประชาชนคือโค่นล้มระบอบทักษิณให้หมดสิ้นจากแผ่นดินไทยและปฏิรูปประเทศด้วยมือของประชาชนเท่านั้น
The Yellow Shirt PDRC are top-led by former politician Suthep, who only recently resigned from the opposition Democrat Party. This has led many to believe that the anti-government protests, despite claiming to be free from political influence, are the opposition's attempt to get back into power without elections, which they haven't won for many years.
เป้าหมายของเราคือปฏิรูปประเทศใหม่โดยไม่มีนักการเมืองและพรรคการเมืองเข้ามาร่วมในการปฏิรูปคราวนี้
While the main protest camps seem festive and peaceful, both Reds and Yellows carry out nightly attacks against each other.
So we need to wear flak jackets now because we're going to go to the base of the most radical faction of the protest, and that's where most of the night shootings have been taking place.
The closer we got to the hardline Yellow Shirts, the more destruction we saw.
We just got to the base camp of the NSPRT, the network of students and people for reform of Thailand.
การถือกำเนิดคปท.นั้นคปท.เราก่อกำเนิดมาตั้งแต่วันที่10 ตุลาในขณะตอนนั้นที่เราก่อกำเนิดเวทีคปท.กำนันสุเทพยังคงเป็นนักการเมืองอยู่ยังคงไม่ได้ลาออกเราบอกเลยเราเป็นนักการเมืองเราจะนำไปสู่การปฏิรูปประเทศไทยโดยปราศจากนักการเมืองเพราะถ้าหากว่ายังมีนักการเมืองอยู่นั้นนักการเมืองเขาก็จะปฏิรูปเพื่อตัวของเขาเองแต่เราเดินหน้าปฏิรูปประเทศไทยโดยภาคประชาชนเพื่อประชาชนโดยแท้จริง
That day, one of their leaders was shot and killed while blocking a polling station.
ก็ทางคปท.เองก็ได้สูญเสียชีวิตของพี่น้องผู้มาร่วมชุมนุมและการอาสาไป2 รายแต่เรามีแนวการป้องกันอย่างชัดเจนรัดกุมก่อนที่จะเข้ามาถึงตัวแกนนำได้เนี่ยต้องผ่านแนวบังเกอร์ทุกเส้นทางที่เข้ามาสู่เวทีการชุมนุมเรามีการอาสามีอาสาสมัครที่พร้อมที่จะเผชิญหน้าและรับได้กับทุกๆสถานการณ์ผบ.ครับของผมนะครับผมลาออกครับปีนี้ปีที่10แล้วครับ
Oh my god. So we just heard a big bang. The security people tell us it was a Chinese cracker, but it wasn't thrown by anyone in here, so somebody's outside trying to scare people. That was just 3 more shots. People are shooting. We have to stay down. A guy just passed, the guy who was shot. We need to turn the light off. Turn the light off. There's nowhere to take cover, so we have to lie down. Apparently, some of the shots we heard were firecrackers, so not all gunshots. We're just gonna lie here and wait it out.
อยู่ในจุดนี้ครับเดี๋ยวข้างในจะมีกระบวนการไม่กลัวมันเยอะ
seems like the shooting has stopped.
I couldn't believe that one moment we were all lying on the ground, hoping whoever was shooting wouldn't enter the camp. And right after, the crowd got up and partied as if it was nothing. After the Yellow Shirt PDRC's sabotage of the pre-elections, a meeting was held to determine whether the general election on February 2nd could go ahead as planned. The protesters tried their best to sabotage the meeting. Just as they were pushing forward, a shot went off in the background.
Do you know anything about the shooting that just happened?
คนถูกยิงเป็นแกนนำด้วยพันธมิตรด้วยครับแกนนำแล้วก็คนยิงก็เป็นตำรวจเจ้าหน้าที่ตำรวจครับตอนนี้อยู่โรงพยาบาลทั้งสองคนอยู่ฝ่ายรัฐบาลครับตำรวจอยู่ฝ่ายรัฐบาลครับ
The protesters just brought evidence that the gunman was actually a policeman. Obviously, we can't confirm this, but at least that's what the guy on the truck is saying. The protesters were up on the truck saying that a policeman did it. What do you have to say about that?
ที่เราเป็นเจ้าหน้าที่เขาก็พยายามที่จะสร้างเงื่อนไขนี้เป็นนโยบายที่ว่าผู้ชุมนุมก็เป็นประชาชนซึ่งมีความขัดแย้งในเรื่องการเมืองเพราะฉะนั้นก็ไม่อยากจะใช้ความรุนแรงให้เป็นเงื่อนไขกำลังตรวจสอบอยู่แต่ที่ยิงกันนี้ยังไม่ทราบชัดเจนว่าเป็นฝ่ายไหน
It was later confirmed that the shooter was indeed from the police, and the protesters now accused them of being behind some of the violence. It's widely believed that the police supports Thaksin, who was once a police lieutenant, while the army is loyal to the king. Thais call them pineapples and watermelons, because although they're both green on the outside, on the inside the army is yellow and the police is red. Many thought the tension between them, and fears of an impending coup, was why the police chose not to forcefully disperse the crowds.
It was just announced that the elections are going to go ahead. So we're going to the red shirt camp to see how they're going to protect the people trying to vote on Sunday.
Although the police might be responsible for some of the violence, it's widely believed that behind the nightly shootings are the most radical factions of the pro- and anti-government supporters. The Yellow Shirt NSPRT, whose camp we had visited the night before, and their arch-enemy, Goatee, who leads the militant Red Shirts in the north of Bangkok.
At the anti-government protest camp, they have all this merch talking shit about Yingluck and Thaksin. At the Red Shirt camp, they have lots of pins with Yingluck and cards and t-shirt where it says, "Respect my vote." And instead of Suthep masks, they have Thaksin masks and lots of red shirts. So you love Yingluck and Thaksin here?
Yeah, very much. I like Thaksin, I like Yingluck very much.
In the other protest camp, they say really mean things about Yingluck and Thaksin. How do you feel about that?
ผมมองเป็นประชาธิปไตยเนี่ยเป็นความรู้สึกเป็นการแสดงออกในแง่ของประชาธิปไตยนะไม่ใช่ว่าคุณไม่ชอบยิ่งลักษณ์คุณไม่ชอบทักษิณแต่คุณไม่โหวตเดโมคราซีต้องโหวตเดโมคราซีต้องเลือกตั้งสมมุติว่าถ้าเขาไม่ต้องการให้มีการเลือกตั้งเนี่ยมันก็ต้องรุนแรง
I know I shouldn't think like this, but that stage is a pretty easy target for a drive-by shooting.
ผมดีใจนะครับที่ทุกวันจะเห็นยางรถยนต์เพิ่มมากขึ้นพี่น้องเอามานะครับผมต้องใช้ตลอดเพราะทุกเส้นคือความห่วงใยของพี่น้องห่วงใยในความปลอดภัยห่วงใยในสวัสดิภาพของพวกเรา
Goatee is infamous for having spent time in jail after breaking Thailand's lèse majesté law that forbids bad-mouthing the king.
คุณเอาอาก้ายิงมาเมื่อคืนนี้ก็ยิงมาใส่เราเพราะมันนี่มันรูเป็นรูอย่างเงี้ยมันยิงทะลุเข้ามาอย่างเงี้ย
The anti-government protesters led by Suthep have made a bunch of demands Among others, that they want a non-elected People's Committee. They want to get rid of Thaksinism, as they call it. What are the demands of the red shirts?
เรียกร้องให้เขายุติในการก่อม็อบกลางถนนเรียกร้องให้มีระบบการเลือกตั้งเพราะคุณบอกว่ารักชาติแต่คุณทำลายชาติเศรษฐกิจเสียหายย่อยยับแต่ผมสู้ระบอบที่เป็นครอบงำในเมืองไทยมาชั่วนาตาปีแล้วสุเทพแค่ตัวละครแต่เจ้าของม็อบตัวจริงต่างหากที่ผมสู้เขาจะความหมายใช่ไหมก็นั่นคือคิงอ่ะผมสู้เขาเพราะทุกครั้งที่พวกพันธมิตรก่อม็อบคุณอยู่เบื้องหลังตลอดแต่คนอื่นไม่กล้าพูดแต่ผมกล้าพูดทำไมคุณไม่อยู่ใต้รัฐธรรมนูญเหมือนอังกฤษเหมือนญี่ปุ่นเหมือนสวีเดนล่ะเพราะทุกวันนี้คุณทำตัวอยู่รัฐธรรมนูญกดหัวคนไทยไงคนไทยถึงยากจนทุกวันนี้เพราะฉะนั้นสุเทพไม่ได้มีค่าในสายตาผมเพราะผมรู้ว่าสุเทพไม่ใช่ตัวจริงคือเขาเบื้องหน้าคือเราพูดเรื่องประชาธิปไตยเบื้องหลังคือเราฝึกนักรบพูดง่ายว่าหัดยิงปืนถ้าวันที่2การเลือกตั้งเกิดขึ้นไม่ได้นะหรือพวกนั้นออกมาขัดขวางนะวันนั้นนะครับการต่อสู้เนี่ยจะเต็มรูปแบบผมจะเป็นคนจุดระเบิดเอง
After Guti had told us that the red shirts were preparing to take action, we wanted to find out for ourselves. So we left Bangkok to travel up north to Chiang Mai, Yingluck and Thaksin's hometown, where some red shirts had announced that they were willing to see Thailand divided.
We're in Chiang Mai, where the red shirts are now rallying for the election, which is the polar opposite of what the protesters in Bangkok are doing.
พี่น้องครับ2 กุมภาพันธ์ 2557 เรียนเชิญทุกภาคส่วนครับพี่น้องอย่าให้คนอื่นมาข่มขู่คุกคามท่านแล้วจะลิ้นรอสิทธิ์ของท่านไป
เหตุการณ์ที่คนไทยเราเกลียดชังกันหรือแบ่งแยกทางความคิดกันเนี่ยหนักๆการเหล่านี้เกิดขึ้นมาตั้งแต่ 2549 เป็นต้นมาที่มีการรัฐประหารพันตำรวจโทดร.ทักษิณชินวัตรเป็นต้นมา
I read that red shirts in Chiang Mai are preparing for Yingluck to come rule here from Chiang Mai.
คือผมบอกว่าการรัฐประหารโดยกำลังทหารเนี่ยถ้ามันเกิดขึ้นจริงผมบอกว่าท่านนายกยิ่งลักษณ์จะต้องมาอยู่กับคนเชียงใหม่แล้วเราจะเป็นกองกำลังปราบกบฏให้
How many red shirts are there?
ในประเทศมีหลายล้านครับ
Do you think all of them would be ready to come out and fight?
ถ้าเหตุการณ์ต่างๆเหล่านี้เนี่ยในการที่กระบวนการชนชั้นนำของแผ่นดินยังมีการกระทำแบบนี้อยู่แล้วจะล้มล้างการปกครองระบอบประชาธิปไตยผมเชื่อว่าการสงครามกลางเมืองระหว่างชนชั้นจะเกิดขึ้นแน่นอนครับ
Aside from being a popular tourist destination, Chiang Mai was like a shrine for the Shinawatras.
ยิ่งลักษณ์สู้เราสู้รวมใจและสเปกไม่หมดและสเปกไม่หมดและสเปกไม่หมดสงสารนายก
วีรบุรุษประชาธิปไตยพันตำรวจโททักษิณชินวัตรเป็นนายกรัฐมนตรีตลอดกาลของคนไทยเรา
Despite allegations of wide-scale corruption and crony capitalism, everyone we met eagerly awaited Thaksin's return from his self-imposed exile.
ถ้าแบ่งก็ดีผมคิดความเห็นว่าแบ่งก็ดีอย่างสุเทพจะบริหารภาคใต้ก็บริหารเลยทั้งนี้ก็ทางเหนือก็บริหารไปเลยพวกคุณสุเทพแบบมันเป็นพรรคเก่าที่ว่ามีเจ้ามีอะไรหนุนหลังมีเชื้อเจ้าอะไรหนุนหลังเขาก็พยายามจะบีบไม่ให้ขึ้นมาเงี้ยคือกดหัวอย่างเงี้ยเข้าใจไหมคือเขามาจากระดับบนไงเพราะทักษิณทำจากรากหญ้าขึ้นไม่เอาใจคนรวยไง
A big chunk of Thaksin and Yingluck's supporters are farmers, and Yingluck's Pheu Thai party won the last election partly because of a popular rice subsidy scheme, buying rice from farmers at a higher price. Now, however, it's a big disaster because farmers haven't been paid since the parliament dissolved and have started joining the protests. So we headed out to the rice fields to see what the mood was.
Has the government paid you for your rice yet?
ยังเลยค่ะยังไม่ได้เลย
ยังไม่ได้ยังไม่มีทุนทำต่อ
เปิ้นคงจ่ายเนาะเพราะเปิ้นเราไปแล้วเนาะเข้าเนาะเปิ้นคงจ่ายอยู่ถ้าเป็นเท่าทำนาเนี่ยมันจริงๆแล้วก็คงบ่มีให้โกงเนาะ
Have any farmers in this area protested against the government?
บ้านเฮานี่บ่มีไปประท้วงเนาะ
Are you still going to vote for Yingluck?
ต้องเลือกอยู่แล้วอ่ะ
ก็ถ้าใจอยู่จะเสียนะผมมันเป็นพรรคที่มันช่วยเหลือหมู่รากหญ้าเนาะสมมติเป็นจะมาช่วยหมู่จะให้เจ้านา
A big reason for why the Pheu Thai party won the last election was because they were appealing to these people, but if you don't pay them, you're going to have a lot more to worry about than some protesters in Bangkok.
When we got back to Bangkok the day before the election, we heard something was going down in an area called Laxi. Yellow shirts were blocking the district office where a substantial amount of ballot papers were kept. Angry red shirts, led by Goatee, were heading towards them.
วันนี้มาแล้วสันดานอย่างพวกผมครับไม่มีถอย
Can you tell me why you're protesting today?
เขาบอกกลุ่มปตส.ยึดหีบบัตรไว้พรุ่งนี้เราจะต้องการเลือกตั้งนะครับผมเราจะไม่มีอะไรบัตรเลือกตั้งเราต้องการเลือกตั้งครับ
What's happening? Why is everyone running? Guys, everyone's running. Oh fuck.
Suddenly the protesters attacked the car.
But we hear some big bang explosion.
We caught the guy who threw the second explosive.
Not really sure if this is a good place to stand, but I guess it's better than being over there. Jesus, it was not even 10 meters away from where we were standing. You can really smell the fumes. We still don't know who was in the car that was attacked, but we do know that 2 probably homemade bombs were thrown. The police is here now. Who knows what's going on? So we're now up the road from the red shirts, and the PDRC are still here, blocking some polling stations. They're still partying. Never mind the bombs and the shooting.
This place like a main office to keep a balance, you know. If we block here, we don't allow anybody countryside to take ballast, someone else to attack us and take the ballast out.
So you're gonna stay here and block the main polling station where all the ballot papers are, no matter what?
Yes. Yeah, we have to block it.
But there are women and children here.
No, women, we keep them inside for safety. Outside for men only.
Apparently the red shirts are moving up here now. Okay, it looks like there's going to be a standoff.
Further down the road, where the explosions had just gone off, things started escalating. A truckload of PDRC yellow shirts drove straight into the intersection where the red shirts were gathered. Both sides clashed, throwing rocks and small explosives at each other. Then the yellows started shooting. Both with handguns and a machine gun that a PDRC guard had concealed in a popcorn bag. The police and army were present, but instead of intervening, they ducked for cover. 8 people were injured, including a photojournalist. Later that night, the yellow-shirt PDRC declared that they would not block any polling stations during the election, and instead announced a national picnic day.
This is the morning of the election day. The PDRC are already blocking polling stations. How come you're blocking the polling station despite Sutep saying that the PDRC would not be blocking any polling stations today?
เราแค่ปิดบนถนนแต่เราไม่ได้ปิดที่สถานที่ไม่ได้ปิดตามศูนย์ที่สังเกตมาตามศูนย์จะปิดตัวเองคือเจ้าหน้าที่ไม่มา
Are you worried that any violence will happen here?
ก่อนที่เข้ามาตรงนี้เนี่ยก็คือเตรียมใจไว้แล้วค่ะก็คือหมายถึงว่าอะไรจะเกิดขึ้นก็คือเกิดตรงนี้ก็คือสู้เต็มที่ค่ะ
At another polling station, the police had built a blockade between the hundreds of people who wanted to vote and the PDRC.
ไปกันยุ่ยๆกันนะทั้งสองฝ่ายนี่ก็ฝ่ายยิงกันแล้ว
It looked like it was going to get hairy, so to avoid chaos, the polling station was closed down and the PDRC left, having succeeded with their mission. With the yellows gone, the voters and red shirts stormed in, demanding to vote. But no staff and no ballots made it impossible. Despite the yellow shirts' blockades, most polling stations were able to operate normally.
This one seems really peaceful. People are voting, no protesters or police or anything. The protesters are boycotting the elections because they say they're not legitimate. What do you think about their claims?
ส่วนตัวนะครับก็คือคิดว่าการเลือกตั้งเนี่ยเป็นตามรัฐธรรมนูญครับคือผมก็อ่านข่าวทั้งสองฝั่งจะเลือกหรือไม่เลือกมันพอๆกันอยากให้ทั้งสองฝ่ายเขาคุยกันมากกว่าครับผม
So there's less than an hour left of the elections and it seems pretty peaceful aside from that shooting we saw earlier. We're back at the main protest area where thousands of people are supposedly celebrating National Picnic Day. So we're going to see what that's like. We visited 2 polling stations this morning and both of them were blocked by PDRC protesters. How do you explain that when you said that you wouldn't be blocking any?
You know, people are not obliged to follow order from the PDRC leaders. These people's rights have been violated by the regime for 13 years. So now they're feeling a lot of anger against this regime, against this government.
Yesterday we were in Laxi and there was a shooting. It was reported that it was members of the PDRC that were holding the machine guns.
I can confirm that they're not PDRC cards. We don't know who they are, but they're not PDRC cards.
Why do you think they were firing at red shirts?
Well, I'm sure that there needs to be fact findings about the incident that happened yesterday. But, you know, we need to find out the facts. We're in charge of using those weapons because we don't agree with the use of force. And as I've said, we will cooperate with any authorities to find out those who are responsible, those who used the arms.
Akanat seemed nervous. Maybe because the shooter who used a popcorn sack to hide his rifle had been identified as a PDRC guard and is now a yellow shirt hero.
The election is over for now, but we won't know the outcome for at least a few weeks. Either way, the elections haven't changed anything. The protests are ongoing, and so is the conflict between those who support Thaksin and Yingluck and those who want reform.
Despite the general election going ahead more or less peacefully, the real winners were the yellow shirts. They successfully blocked voting in 28 constituencies, leading to the election being annulled by the Constitutional Court, and Yingluck is facing impeachment. With the red shirts mobilizing and intensifying their threats of civil war, there seems to be no end in sight to the bloodshed between the Thaksinist Reds and the Royalist Yellows.